everybody, welcome to Cavan TV. I'm Peter Hannert, I'm the CEO of Cavan Images, and this is a channel where we are going to give away about 2 decades of insider knowledge. We're going to do secrets, tips, how-to, everything we know we're going to give to you. Today's episode is about the pricing in the stock world. It's a little nuts, it's confusing, but we're going to break it all down, all right? The same picture can sell for 5 cents or $5,000. How can that happen? It's a little nuts. I think the first thing we need to understand is how you value IP. That's intellectual property. That's what your stock content is. The way you value IP is different than fine art or commission work, like a day's work. IP is how much revenue it can make over time. And it's not the price of one sale. So if you have a 5-cent sale or a $1 sale for a piece of IP, that doesn't really mean anything. That's not the value of your work. Because you can go on to sell 1,000 more times, 10,000 more times, over years. That is the true value of your work in the stock world, is how much it makes over time. All right, so we're going to refer back to that a lot because that's super important. We do get this comment all the time, like, oh, I got this tiny sale on my statement. I hate that. I get that sentiment, and your work is worth more than that. And your work will make more than that. But this is a person that clearly misunderstands that valuation of IP, that total revenue over time. All right, so we're going to talk more about it. I think people get this misconception of, I need to be selling at these higher prices so I can make more money. But a great example is iTunes and Spotify. Our superstars are making a lot of money on both platforms. iTunes is selling for $1.29, right? And Spotify is licensing, every time you listen to a song, is licensing that IP for about 0.7 of a cent. Artists are making about 13% more money on Spotify. So it's a great example. Lower price is actually making the artist more money. And that has parallels in the stock world, and we'll talk about it. Let's go over the normal pricing for full res imagery in the different categories. We've got premium, we've got mid-stock, we've got video, and we got micro. Those are kind of the 4 categories. In the premium, you've got Cavan, and then you really have the big 3. You've got Getty, Adobe, and Shutterstock, which owns Offset. That's their premium brand. The pricing there is about $4.99 to $2.50. That's your premium pricing. 2, mid-stock, about $100-ish, and that is Adobe and Stocksy, basically, in those. They're the big players in there. What do we got next? 3, video. 4K video is kind of the high res these days, and it's weirdly consistent. The really cool thing about video is it's a consistent price, about $179 to $199, but they sell it through the micro audience, which is so much bigger than the premium audience. So video is super cool, actually. We'll talk more about that. All right, 4, micro. Micro is really subscription, right? So the clients are paying subscription, they're getting the stuff really cheap, there's a lot of images. The pricing is, to the photographer, to the artist, is between 15 cents and 35 cents. All the agencies kind of make it hard to figure out what the heck you're getting paid, because you got to get to the different level before the payout is this or that, or it resets every year. It's a little lame. They purposely make it hard to understand. But again, I think the payout to photographers is generally 15 cents to 35 cents. Of course, there's outliers to all this, but these are the general 4 categories. Next, what do we got? Why does the picture sell for so much and for so little? That's where these curveballs come in. This is what really throws the price off. This is why the same picture can sell for $5,000.05. All right, Getty's premium access is 1. Getty has this special program for huge clients. If you come in and spend tons of money, you get premium content for very, very low prices. So you'll see on your statements, 10-cent sales, stuff like that for premium content. But they sell a lot of it. So what are you going to do? Buyout sales, another curveball, and the holy grail. That's what you want to get. Buyout sales can be $1,000 to, I've seen $20,000 buyout sales. Basically, a buyout is when a client wants exclusivity. They take the content off the market for an arranged amount of time, usually a year, 2 years, something like that. The longer they take it out of the market, the more money they have to pay. These sales are awesome. They don't happen that often, but they do. And it all goes into your average, you know, when you average out how much you're making per image. These are important, and they happen. Third thing is sales team discounts. With all these agencies that we work with and all the agencies around the world, sales teams will discount like crazy. So you're going to see 10 to 80% off the published price because the salesperson was desperate to make a sale. And that goes, the fourth thing is like foreign agencies. Here in the US, people spend more money than they do in small countries. It's just a fact that they don't have the same budgets. So foreign sales, again, will be 10 to 80% off US prices. Okay, we got who are the different agencies and what are the prices. So you've got Getty, that's got actually the highest prices and the lowest prices. The average sale price at Getty is weirdly about $8. But the revenue at Getty is equal to two others in the big three. So Adobe's average price, I'm guessing around $200, and same for Offset. But the revenue, it represents about 20% of your total revenue for each of those big three. And then Cavan and the rest of the world makes up the other 40%. So funny that Getty's, I mean, food for thought, right? Getty's, going back to that Spotify iStock thing, Getty's prices are really, really low comparatively to the other agencies, but their revenue is pretty much the same as the other agencies. And something to pay attention to when you look at your statement and you see all these sales for you know, 40 cents, 10 cents, and we get photographers that get bummed out, but it's all part of stock photography. That's an important revenue stream for any photographer, is to be part of the small sales and be part of the big sales, which happen less often. Adobe's got a little more choices than say Offset. Adobe's got that premium $499, I think. They've got a $250 and they got a $100. So the $250 and the $100 starts creeping into that mid stock. Adobe's got micro too, but in the premium section they have those three prices. Stocksy's also in that $100. Offset used to be $499, and I think they just dropped to like $350 or something for the, you know, the top. Their average price there is again $200. Again, Shutterstock and Offset in the premium world represent about 20% of your revenue. I want to go into a little more detail with video. So you got the $179 to $199 price, but there's, in the premium world, there's about, you know, tens of thousands of clients in those big agencies. And in the micro world, there's like millions of clients. So that advantage, there's two advantages. You get this fair price to a huge audience. That's one. And then there's probably 300 million pieces of content being sold right now. And video is probably 10% of that. So the competition to sell is so much better in video. You're not competing against hundreds of millions of pictures. Shoot video. I know it's a little harder, takes a little more time. It is better. It makes more money if you shoot good video. Video's cool. Microstock. Microstock's really the bargain basement of stock content, but that doesn't mean it sucks. There's value there. You just need to treat it a little differently. You need to have your keywording down, your post-production down. You need to have your shoots where you come up with lots of variables that you're illustrating. And if you have that program down and you're making thousands of pieces of content, Microstock's got real value. It's also a great place to start because you can make some money while you're honing your skills. All the premium collections curate like crazy. You know, you submit a bunch of stuff to Adobe's premium collection, and they're going to edit a lot out. So Microstock is a great way to hone your skills while you're aiming for premium. Okay, obviously the question is, what's the best price for your work? That depends on what kind of shooter you are, what kind of things you'd like to shoot. I think it breaks down like this. If you're just starting out and you're honing your skills and you're not quite there yet, but you want to get better, you're probably going to be best placed in micro. It's low barrier to entry, and you're going to get to make some money while you're learning your stuff. Let's say you're a pro shooter. You like commission shooting, you're shooting jobs all the time. That doesn't mean you should ignore stock photography. There's just a lot of value in the stuff that's probably sitting on your hard drives. Locations shoots, outtakes, things that you have the rights to or that you could get a model release for. Don't let it sit on your drive. There's value there. It also depends on what you're shooting. So how rare or common is this stuff you're shooting? If it's really common, then there's probably low priced versions of it in micro, and it's going to be a total waste of time to price it expensive. If you like shooting sunsets and flowers, who doesn't? I love shooting flowers. I sent it to my mom. Look at my awesome backyard with the flowers. There's millions of pictures of sunsets and flowers, so you're just not going to sell those at a higher price. So those should be in micro. If you're shooting a helicopter ski trip with 5 models and model releases, okay, that should be higher priced. Those are hard to get. Crowds of people that are model released, super hard. So you can see where, is it super common? There's probably low price variable options available. Is it rare, hard to get? Maybe that should be priced higher. Say you're the pro stock shooter. You know what you're doing. You're paying for models. You might be paying for locations. You don't necessarily have to pay, but some of the pros do. You're taking this seriously. Most of those people will say, oh, I'm a premium shooter. I know what I'm doing. I think that's a mistake. Cavan does own some content, and here's what we do. We aim for the premium edit, and then we waterfall down. So we go premium. If it doesn't stick there, we allow it to get waterfall down to the mid-stock price. If it doesn't stick there, or it's really common stuff, we don't throw it out. We put it in micro. We don't opt out of anything. We try to get as much content in front of as many people as possible, and we try and sell it as many times as possible. And that is basically the conclusion of this thing, and the thing we should remember. Get your work in front of as many people as possible, sell it as many times as possible, and kind of don't worry about the price. All right, stock pricing is a little confusing. Totally get it. It's all over the place. But I hope this straightens some of it out, and it helps you understand where your work should be. And really follow this rule. Get your work in front of as many people as possible, no matter what the price. You've got to sell it as many times as possible over time. The true value of IP. How much revenue does it make over time? All right? Hope that helps. All right, signing off. Ask us any questions in the comments, because we're going to do future episodes based on your questions. Anything you want to know about the stock industry, we may know it. If we don't know it, we're going to find it out together. And if you like this video and you want more insider stuff, subscribe. Thanks so much for being here. I appreciate it. Bye.